Good morning. Hey, what's up this morning? This is Lewinator59 and I'm waiting for Mrs. Lewinator59. There's an eclipse started right now. And we've got this idea to go back to my old neighborhood and... Oh, that's the next part of the vlog anyway, so let's go back to my old neighborhood. Huh?
I just said come along with us.
Oh yeah, come along with us.
Lewinator 59, Lewinator 59, Lewinator 59. You should follow Lewinator 59.
You know, I'm nervous about this.
Why?
Well, it's not safe. It's not a safe neighborhood. And I don't know. I think it's mostly safety I'm worried about. Because it wasn't safe when I was there when I was a kid, and now it's...
It's gotten rough, but we'll be okay.
Okay. So, we're going to go and be part of this eclipse. And eclipse my life a little bit.
What did Chris used to call it?
Oh, an eclipse. Oh,
Eclipse.
Gosh. My son came out into the garage one day when he was a little kid, and he was going, "Dad, there's going to be an eclipse." And I looked at him and said, "Oh no, an eclipse." He says, "Dad, what's an eclipse?" And I said, "Well, an eclipse, it's this big E that comes flying through space, and it's got these big lips, and it goes, E, B, 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 people of Earth." And then I stopped and just looked at him. And he goes, "Nuh-uh." But at least I got him on that one.
Yeah, that was funny.
Okay, so let's go to the other side of town and do this thing. This first place we're coming, okay, right here is just right up the street from where I used to live. And across the street was Jeans Mufflers, Chrome, a big cow pasture. Of course, all those pine trees weren't there, but what I came down here to look at is, oh, well, that doesn't mean no good. That used to be a, oh, come on. All around the cow pastures that were in this area, there were the land was all around the cow pastures here. There were trailer parks. So we're walking through a trailer park right now, and this is where we used to have to walk to go to play sports and play baseball. In these trailers, back when I was a kid, there was a bunch of alcoholics, notorious people. Oh gosh. But this used to be, they built a building here now, but this was our baseball field where we would come to play baseball.
Do it have grass like this?
Oh. Yeah, this was the baseball field, and backstop was over on that side. And I used to be able to hit the ball all the way from there and knock it all the way out near to the street. But there's no baseball playing there today. In fact, see, the thing is in this area, there's no parks.
Nope.
There's nothing for kids. And when I was a kid, that just meant more trouble to get out. No, but you know, actually I feel kind of comfortable here coming into this trailer park. It's not too bad. Hi, how are you? Everybody's kind of wondering what I'm doing here, but that's okay. It's mostly people starting out who just moved here to California. But anyways, we would have to across the street was Jeans Mufflers and Chrome. All of this was cow pasture until it was bought up by the Douglas Oil Company. And then behind those trees there's a tank farm now. But all that was cow pastures. Jeans Chrome was pretty cool. It was an old building that sat here. A lot of car buffs. It was famous. Jeans Chrome was a famous place. And we used to come there and get their really cool Nazi-looking stickers and put them on our bikes. And
Wasn't the drive-in down there?
now, now we live down there. Now see this sidewalk right here gives me the chills just looking down it.
Why?
Well, because that was the gauntlet that I had to ride or run, walk, skateboard, whatever, to get from from the school down to my street. And there were bullies and mean people in this area. Really bad. Dangerous. This old place right here, well, they've redone the front of it, but this old place right here, this was a liquor store.
Really?
Yeah, and we would come here to buy our cigarettes. Started smoking when I was 11. And
How'd they sell you cigarettes?
who knows? But we'd get our cigarettes here. And there was an old man that worked here, and he was kind of senile, and we'd come and get our cigarettes and alcohol and do a lot of shoplifting. What else was there to do? There was no money, so you shoplifted, you stole. We did a lot of stealing. Now, there was no storage place here. Now, this is a Rainbow Trailer Park. This is right next to the street. Now, I won't walk this one. This one is too dangerous. But this is right next to the street I grew up on, and most of my friends lived on this street. Is it eclipsing?
Yep, about 50% right now.
All right.
I thought you wanted to get that.
Right there. There's one of the worst guys in the neighborhood lived right there. It was a guaranteed butt kicking every time I went past here. Right there, that trailer right there. Okay, the bully's trailer was right over there. This guy, he was like Biff from Back to the Future. I mean,
what are you looking at, butthead?
The dude was bad. And he kicked my butt for about 2 years straight. And when I wanted to go down and play baseball, I had to go through him. Just the way it was. And right here, you can't see it, but right here this fence ended, and there was a small corridor that went through. This building wasn't here, and we would have to go through here, and we'd had a hangout there. But when I wanted to meet girls, I'd come out here on the street when I was 13 and stand trying to look cool and hoping somebody would stop, and they never would. This building right here wasn't there then. There was an older building, but we used to go up on top of the roof, and it was a lot taller than this, and we'd throw water balloons onto the passing cars.
I did that as a kid.
Oh no, this was, we did big ones. We almost made cars crash, it was bad. Now all of this across the street, this was all Rosecrans DriveIn Theater.
Paramount, wasn't it?
No, this is Rosecrans DriveIn Theater. And we used to be able to come right across the street, go in the back entrance, and go watch a movie. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Yep.
Let's go.
I'm coming. I'm just taking it in. I mean, this is a lot to take in. They say it's at 50% right now. I don't see nothing. Okay, the one nice thing about this neighborhood, if you could say a nice thing, is I was able to grow up learning different trades, and the shop owners around the area, they were pretty good towards us kids. They taught us a lot. In fact, I'm standing right on where the ski and dive used to be. It used to be a little dive shop right here. And we would ride our bikes out here or over here, and we would get free coffee and Cokes. And the guys would come in from skiing, they'd get their tanks serviced, their gear fixed, and so I learned about diving in the ocean through these guys. But then, all of these buildings right here, these were fabrication buildings, and buildings just like this were over here on this other side. So we had fabricators and welders in there, fabricators and welders in there, right there, and then over here on this side we had a shop that made motorcycle seats, and all kinds of choppers would come in here all the time. And then over here on that side there was a plastics molding company, and they would I had a friend that his dad owned it. Okay, now this parking lot right here was our main play area, and those shops were different. They were smaller and set back. Over in this area right here in this shop, they made the world's fastest boat, speedboat at the time, and it's called the Cherry Bomb. And so I got to hang around a bunch of boat guys too. Of course, there was nothing to do at home. Dad would always tell me to get out of here. Now when I say I grew up in the streets, this is what I'm talking about. Cow pasture on that side, cow pasture over there, a drive-in theater, all kinds of workshops, and then there was this street. This little tiny street existed right on the tip of a cow pasture, and it was the only place in that little small businesses could come and hide and grow and start. And so that's where my mom came. In fact, that house right behind me is the house that I grew up in. Okay, that little alleyway right there, I used to be able to go up it and jump into my bedroom. And anytime I wanted to leave, I'd leave that way too. In and out the window. Well, this isn't as bad as it used to be. Still not good. Look at this. The same street is here. I mean, the road has not changed. The same potholes from when I was a kid.
Haven't repaved it.
And see the sewer right here? My dad was the one that petitioned the city and went around and collected to get everybody on the sewer system here, because it was all septic tanks at one time. This is our 10-yard football field. Here. I used to sit on this curb all the time as a kid. In fact, sometimes I would sit here and I would just fall backwards and go to sleep. I'd just sleep right here on the street. Hour and a half a nap and I'd be up and going. Now, you've seen the Beverly Hillbillies. If you haven't seen the Beverly Hillbillies, I suggest it's a good go watch. But the Beverly Hillbillies actually lived right here on my street. No, the Beverly Hillbillies didn't. But, let's see, what was his name? Stevens. Archie Stevens and his family had moved here to that little small house right there. And they came from West Virginia. And they were mountain folk, just like the Beverly Hillbillies. And they started flying in, or moving in their ancestors from West Virginia. And so over in this house, that was Grandma's house, or Granny, and boy, did she look like Granny. Oh yeah, looked just like a Grandma Moses. Then one of the relatives moved into that house, and then one moved into that house. So we had this whole family of West Virginians from the mountains, and they were fun to live with and be around. And when I'm talking about moving from the mountains, I'm talking about doing laundry in wash buckets and the old-fashioned way, you know. They beat and hang, yeah, scrubbers and. But they pretty much had their family, and then my best friend, he lived right here behind that wall, but there was no wall then. His house evidently is gone.
What's his name?
His name was Jamie.
Oh yeah, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie was a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
He taught me how to smoke, how to drink, how to do drugs.
That was very good.
Taught me how to run my mouth. Jamie was quite an influence on me.
And probably fight.
No, we.
No.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But this was down at the end of the street,
Oh, look,
and
a little puppy.
oh yeah, there is a little puppy.
Is that a min pin?
No, that's a Chihuahua.
The Chihuahua min
But this was George's house. George and Charlotte lived here,
Hi, doggy buddy.
and boy, it looks exactly the same.
Does it?
Yeah, except the front yard's different. There was a big pit in the front yard where they had water and fish, nasty fish, and they had monkeys. And
Monkeys?
yeah, they had, oh, it stunk to high heaven.
Do they have cages for them?
Yeah, but still, this place just reeked. You'd come down here and it smelled like monkeys. And we didn't come down to George's house too much because George was, his family came from Mexico, and they were really different people. They had a room full of pornography.
Oh, that's right. You used to see that.
I was just a little bitty boy, and they had a room full of pornography. And that's one of those things where I say, street, look at this little dog.
Who lived there?
Oh, nobody lived there. That was always a business. Some guy came in and bought it up, and boy, he hasn't really changed it. It looks like he still owns it.
What's that? Right, that house is funny.
I never knew the people in those homes right there.
No? Such a small street.
Yeah, see this lot right here had this big, huge tree in it. And that was the first tree that I climbed. I was probably about halfway up the height of that palm tree there. Mm-hmm. And I climbed up that high in this big, huge tree, and they had big planks up there to where you could walk from limb to limb and kind of make a tree house out of it. But they baited me to get up into it so they could push me off.
Yeah, and then you fell for it.
fell for it. I fell straight to the ground.
Oh, that's horrible. Kids weren't very nice to you.
No, in fact, I was the rich kid, but my parents treated me like the neighborhood kids.
Like you weren't rich.
No, I didn't have a lot of toys. I didn't have nice clothes. I had nice clothes for when we traveled, but I couldn't wear them until we traveled.
Back then you got dressed up when you traveled.
Yeah, this home right here, this was Jose's house right here. And his dad was from Brazil. And he was one of the best woodworkers I've ever seen. In fact, he made the local paper because of his baseball bats that he used to make here. So he had lathes and stuff, but just like everybody else, he had a pornography problem, and we would go into his work area and he'd have pinup poster girls all over the place. And to a 7-year-old little kid that doesn't know anything,
That's horrible.
well, he let me go stand on a chair and examine them. And he encouraged me to. And yeah, it just wasn't right. And then the older kids, oh God, there was teenagers in this area and they used to beat the hell out of us. And it was a constant battle. It was a constant fear that I was going to be beat up. You know, there was no safety at home. My parents didn't want me at home. They wanted me on the streets. So I hung here as much as I could, but then when I got to the ages of 13 and 14, I just started taking off on my bike.
Yeah.
I'd go hang out at the beach. I'd go hang out. I'd go anywhere but here. I just wanted to get away from here.
Yeah.
That cracks me up. I would start at this end and all the other kids in the neighborhood would be on that end, and they'd have to stop me with the football.
That's a small yard.
So, yeah, I know it's a small, I know it, but we were little kids. But to stop me, that's what they needed to do. Oh, yeah, and when we couldn't go up to the park, up to the school and play baseball, this was our baseball field right here.
Behind the gate?
Yeah, the gates weren't here. And that's where Grandma Moses lived. And a guy that owned an electric company owned the building back there. And home base was down there, first base over there, second base right about here, third base over there. And this is where we played baseball. And this is where we got good because we had windows there, and all these windows out here.
So you couldn't hit?
Yeah, couldn't hit because you break one in. Well, anyways, so we would have to angle it, you know, and learn how to hit it into the gaps, and learn how to not hit the walls, but hit it to where we get a home run. And we became really, really good at baseball. In fact, baseball was my game. It was absolutely my game. I could knock that ball. I could hit a baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I've seen you.
Well, that's true. You have, huh?
Many times.
But anyways, yeah, that's the house I grew up at. Sure is a lot different. My parents owned this house, and then they owned the house next to it. They bought the house next to it, and it was also a dog. They turned it into a dog kennel, and then they rented it out for a while, and then they eventually sold it. Yeah, so
I think they sold it after we met.
yeah, you know what? This street isn't as scary as it used to be. Oh, and I just remembered a photo that I took once. Oh wow, what a trip. Let's see, where was my mom standing? She was probably standing right here. You know, I don't know what I was so nervous about. I thought coming back here would be a little bit more dangerous, but it's not so bad. That's probably it. I needed you with me today. But anyways, that's where I grew up at, and boy, this area sure has changed. I can still see the Rosecrans DriveIn, and right over there by that Walmart sign, there used to be a super slide that they put in.
Oh, I remember that.
And a bumper car track. So for a couple summers, we got to go over there and help them wax the slide every morning for free. Yeah, all those homes were built back in there, back probably in '65. Hey, you can't see nothing on the camera.
Trying to see.
Hey, how you doing?
My welder's man.
Oh, nice.
The guy over there said it was at 50%.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Do you think so? Well, you can look at that. What's that? That's cool. I wish we had one of these. That's cool.
That's pretty cool, huh?
It is 50%. Thank
Janet,
you.
you're being a welder, huh?
And that's
Yeah,
a welder?
Yeah, that's what I use for welding. So I have two of them just so it's nice and dark.
That's why I never did any welding. I can see the toggles. I mean, they're telling you to put a nice bead down, but you can't see the bead.
Well, you gotta have
That's not quite 50%. It's about though. It's cool.
See ya. Wow. So the drive-in ended up getting gang infested and dark.
Yeah.
See, I moved out of here when I was 15, and I never looked back.
I used to work at the drive-in in the snack bar.
You worked at Paramount.
That's right there.
Oh, that was Rosecrans Drive.
Where's Paramount?
Over in Paramount?
Oh.
Well, that's Paramount. That's Paramount. But there was a Paramount Drive-in over there.
I was over there. You're right.
She served popcorn.
Thank you.
And she's still, when she goes to the movies, that's what she eats, popcorn and cake. Hey, I know something I bet you hasn't changed.
What?
Stokes Restaurant.
I know, let's go.
Can I take you breakfast?
Yeah, I want banana.
Pancakes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was a lot safer than I thought it was going to be. I was a little bit more worried about it.
I came.
You know, it just amazes me how thinking of this place for all of those years has made me think that it went downhill. And I guess it did. It went down, from what the guy says.
Well, it did for a while.
From what Wes said, it went downhill really bad. And then they tore out the drive-in and put in the mall across the street, and I guess it's a lot better now. So, here's thumbs up for better street. Here's thumbs down to the things that happened on the street to get it there. Thumbs up that God got me through this place. Thumbs down to everything that happened when I was here. Thumbs up, this is where I got my start. And thumbs up, I got to come back and share it with you guys, and voted the best breakfast in town. All right, I can do that. The sign is the same, honey. Look at that.
No,
It's the same sign.
it is. Same building too.
Well, yeah. Okay, this is where the family would come, or my mom would come to buy pies and cakes when they'd have she used to have like appreciation days for all of her clients. You know. We get all these Hollywood stars into our home, and they'd get the good pies from here.
Pies and cakes are good here.
Look, I don't think they cleaned the door in about 30 years. Stokes. Ooh, they still got the pies and the cakes. Pies. Now, there used to be a family of chefs running this place. I don't know if it's the same family. But those chefs back there have always put out outstanding food. The place hasn't changed a bit.
I got my banana pancake.
Yeah, you
They
did.
said they didn't have them, so I special ordered.
And that's good.
Yep.
That's good. You know, that was kind of anticlimactic. Well, I thought going back to my old neighborhood, we'd be able to see a little bit more danger. I guess it built up in my head. It was a dangerous place. But you know, that was street life to me. You had alcohol, you had pornography, you had drugs, you had smoking, you had stealing, fights. We defended ourselves with weapons. In fact, I was even armed going there today. I carried my weapon. But anticlimactic, which is good, which is real good, right?
Yep.
Can we move back to Jeff Street?
We have our own property. Take care of it.
Because children need mom and dad, they need friends and family, and when we got married, that's what we did with our kids. They always had us. We were always there for them. But we also put our kids into a private school, and we didn't let them have friendships in the neighborhood at home, or we didn't foster those friendships. Not that we didn't let them have, we didn't foster them.
There wasn't a lot of kids in that.
No, but between school, church 3 times a week, they had plenty of friends and friends that parents were involved with their kids.
And we knew their parents.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't have. So we provided all that for our kids. Our kids turned out pretty darn well. Actually, I turned out pretty darn well. And that story's coming because it didn't happen by accident. In fact, the accidents went to a very bad place. And my life went to a very bad place. So, that'll have to wait until another time because we're going to sit back. We got the eclipse on the TV here. So we're going to sit back and watch the eclipse and drink coffee. What do you think I ordered? Okay. Did you guess that? Of course you got that. Oh my gosh. What she's doing to it.
Yum, yum.
Burp.